I'm going to speak plainly because the conduct described in this resolution demands clarity, not euphemism. Before any employer contact occurred, before any escalation beyond this chamber, I made a good faith effort to resolve concerns directly. I agreed to meet with Councilmember Sandoval alongside Councilmember Diarrigo with the sole purpose of establishing boundaries, restoring functional working relationship, and avoiding further conflict. I entered that meeting prepared to engage constructively and professionally, but that effort was rejected. Councilmember Sandoval ended that meeting by looking at everyone in the room and stating, quote, "Regardless of the outcome of the censure, I'm still going to sue you," end quote. That statement made one thing unmistakably clear. He had no intention of negotiating in good faith, no interest in mutual respect, and no desire to reach any working agreement for basic collegiality. The outcome was predetermined. The meeting was not about a resolution, it was about posturing. What followed confirmed that reality. Only after that meeting did Councilmember Sandoval begin targeting individuals beyond this dais. Only after that meeting did he contact my employer. That contact occurred immediately afterward. The timing was deliberate, the intent was unmistakable. This was not coincidence, it was not transparency, it's not accountability, it's retaliation. The resolution before us states that, quote, on at least one occasion, Councilmember Sandoval has contacted a council colleague's employer and asked questions insinuating illegal and or unethical activity, end quote, and further concludes that, quote, the use of questions and requests for information or records is a guise for intimidation, end quote. Let the record be clear that council colleague was me. What followed the very next morning further underscores this pattern. Only after that meeting, I found former city council member Jesus Valenzuela sitting directly outside of the entrance to my apartment, waiting for me. Taken in isolation, one might attempt to dismiss this as a coincidence. Taken in context with the failed meeting, the explicit threat of litigation, the employer contact, and the broader pattern documented in this resolution, it's unmistakable. These are intimidation tactics. I'm also compelled to address another deliberate act that fits squarely within the same pattern, the fabrication and dissemination of false claims about my position on rent stabilization. Councilmember Sandoval publicly claimed that I, quote, lied to a constituent who came here today, Berenice Larios, about my position on rent stabilization. That accusation is unequivocally false, and I'm willing to go under oath for that. The individual featured in the video, Berenice Larios, claiming to be distraught and betrayed, was not an independent constituent misled by my statements. That individual was, in fact, a paid canvasser for my campaign. Presenting that video as organic outrage from a misinformed voter was misleading by design. Councilmember Sandoval did not merely amplify this false narrative, he helped craft and promote it alongside Protect Salinas renters. To now suggest that this misinformation was independently generated and that he bears no responsibility is disingenuous and inconsistent with the facts. At no point did I conceal or misrepresent my position on rent stabilization. I stated my position repeatedly, consistently, and publicly, including during formal candidate interviews while seeking endorsements. Those statements were made in public settings with numerous witnesses present, including Jesus Valenzuela, Anthony Rocha, Chago Juarez, and many others who heard me clearly articulate my view. That position was straightforward. The direction of the rent stabilization ordinances was misdirected, and the city should have focused its energy on housing production and supply, not policies that failed to address the root causes of the housing crisis. To falsely accuse me of lying after these repeated documented statements was not a misunderstanding. It was a deliberate attempt to discredit my integrity through misinformation. I'm also going to skip to another part just because I'm running out of time. Councilmember Sandoval has also pursued the same aggressive coercive behavior onto former elected officials, individuals who no longer hold power, no longer vote, no longer shape city policy. Former Mayor Kimberly Craig and former Councilmember Steve McShane were subjected to a cease and desist style email accusing them of spreading falsehoods, questioning their motives, and insinuating involvement in a recall effort. Let me be clear.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember.
Yes. Also, all of my comments have been shared with the city clerk and will be submitted into the public record alongside the 3 pieces of evidence that have been submitted to the council today.
Thank you, Jose.